Hi everyone, welcome to Graciellie Makes Cards. Today's card features a digital image from Graciellie Designs Grateful Heart. I'll begin by creating a color wash background with Sennelier paints, and then the image will be painted with Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. I wet my paper front and back. I wet the back so that the panel will lay flat against the surface, making it easier to work on. I use the loose watercolor technique to lay the foundation of color for the panel. The colors I have chosen are watered down. I pick up the paint with my number 8 brush and I simply drop it down onto the area that I want a particular color. I want my paint to spill out into the background. I will add a bit more water to soften the edges. I have chosen pink for the chrysanthemum, a dark green for the foliage, purple for the small berries, and red for the larger ones. I want this background color to be quite light. I use some paper towel to absorb the extra water and to lift up some of the paint. I finish up by adding just a bit more color to my background. Once my panel has completely dried, I begin my coloring with my Zig markers. I have found that Zig markers do not work well on wet paper, so it is important that the paper is dry. You can test by lightly touching your paper. If it is cool to the touch, there is still some moisture and you need to give some more drying time. The Zig markers make the coloring of this image not only simple but quick, even though there is so much detail. I start off with my dark pink marker, just working one petal at a time. I color the base and then use a water brush to pull the color up. If I want more highlight area on a particular petal, I actually will do the opposite. After laying the color at the base, I'll start with my water brush up at the tip and then pull the water down. The result is the line between where the color was applied and where it was not is softened, and the highlight area is left intact. When working with Zig markers, you don't have to worry about working on petals that are adjacent to each other. The amount of water that you're using to pull your color is very small, and you don't have to worry about paint bleeding from one petal to the next. Now, having said that, you do need to test your water brush. I have found that there are some water brushes where the water will pool, and clearly you don't want that to happen. After the first few petals, you may have noticed that I stopped doing them individually. Once I felt confident with how the painting was going to progress, I started to apply color to a number of petals at a time. I used the same approach for coloring all of the other elements in this spray of flowers. I used deep violet for the small berries and geranium red for the large ones. For the greenery, I used marine green, olive green, deep green, turquoise green, and light green. Once my panel was dry, I attached it to sheet foam. I mounted this panel on black cardstock before attaching it to the card base and then finished up with gold Nouveau drops. I lightly colored my sentiment panel with some pale green to pick up the greens that were in the card and mounted it on black as well. In spite of all the details in this spray of flowers, it was a fairly quick and simple card to make. I attribute that completely to the color brush markers. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do appreciate your time.